Welcome to High Desert Highlights. It's great to be back with you under the Friday night lights for week 2 of high school football. I'm Peyton Thomas. Steele has the night off. There were a number of local teams that jumped out to 1-0 last week, and a few performances were especially impressive, including Mountain View dominating Springfield on the road. But the Cougars are back at home for their home opener tonight against Lebanon, a team they eliminated from the playoffs last year. And they started hot, up 14-0 in the first quarter and driving. Counter run for Angel Valenzuela. He bounces it out toward the sideline all the way down to the 2. A play later, it's a little backfield swap, but another good result. Ryder Carpenter punches it in straight up the gut, 21-0 Mountain View. Next Cougar drive, they're moving the ball again. Valenzuela out of the backfield. He looks left, doesn't see any option, so breaks it back out to the right and beats just about everyone to the pylon, scoring easily. Then late in the half, after the fourth Mountain TD of the half, it's right back into the red zone. Tulin looks left, finds Crew Harrison in the flat. Mountain View make it look easy. This one was over by halftime. Cougars roll 42-0 over the Warriors. Let's head now to the newest team in 5A and the Intermountain Conference, Crook County. The Cowboys were in a jamboree last week, so they're opening their competitive season tonight against Estacada and off to a good start. They're getting it moving on the ground with tailback Wyatt Netherly. Drive stalls though. Moving into the second quarter, Cowboys look to punt. The botched snap gives the Rangers great field position, and a few plays later, they take advantage. Blake Barger, how about that name for a running back? He steps over a Crook County defender on his way in, 8-0. Very next kickoff, they surprise the Cowboys with the onside kick, and Crook County coughs it up, so it goes right back to the visitors. And then it's on the move again for Estacada. Later in that drive, check out this run. Sophomore Ashton Randall says, "Get off me," to a couple Crook County defenders. He just will not go down and finds his way to pay dirt. Next drive, Cowboys really need a response, down 2 touchdowns now, but this is where things start to get moving. First off, a great contested catch, 2 defenders on Tanner Songstad, but he holds on, doesn't matter. A little bit of a contested catch, that goes straight to the receiver. Very next snap, it's back to the air. This time, Kanan Twig, he's the target on the shot play, reels it in near the sideline. Then in Ranger territory, Hayden Allen dropping back, looks his man over the middle. Another new target, Nethery, getting to just outside the 5. This time Nethery out of the backfield on the run, and he scores. Now this game was 14-7 Estacada going into the half. No official word on how this game ended from OSAA. In the community, a couple reports tell us that this game was canceled. Again, no report officially from OSAA yet on how that Crook County game ended. It seems year after year the Summit Storm schedule stiff competition for all their non-conference games, and really 2025 is no different. Last week the Storm got a 6A win at home against Sprague, and then this week they traveled to another cross-classification contest against Roseburg. The Storm, well, they start things off with a big play. Connor Keneally, looks like he's going down for just some decent yardage, but somehow stays up and then breaks it away for 30-plus yards after the contact, and he gets down just about in the 15. That drive stalls. Later in the quarter, Summit in the red zone. Handoff to Jude Anderson, and look at that speed, breaking away and breaking the goal line, playing around a couple defenders. He gets in for the score. Summit up 13-0 late in the half. Long way to go, though. Guthrie drops back, pump fake, no one open. Well, how about lob it up for Connor Keneally? You got a wideout like that, why not try it? And he, again, somehow magically stays on his feet and gets it down inside the red zone. That's striking distance. Few seconds later, Guthrie hits the big target, 6'6" Kellen Bailey on the corner route. Summit up 20 at the half, looking to close things out to the start of the second half, and it doesn't take long. The defense gets the job done. Roseburg misplays the option. Dylan Hughes says, "I'll take that, thank you very much." Storm take it from there. Big win tonight, 42-7 over 6A Roseburg. That result brings us to tonight's first 5A scoreboard. Again, no update yet on that Crook County game, but huge wins for 2 of the most impressive teams last year, and certainly looking like it this year. Mountain View at home and the Summit Storm on the road. The Redmond Panthers are staying on the road after a big 6A win versus McNary last week. This week they look to double their tally against Cascade, but it's the Cougars who strike first from a few yards out in the first quarter, and they get up a touchdown. Moving into the second quarter, Cascade threatening again. It's 4th and 9, so the Cougars go for it with a little bit of trickery. The pitch to the wideout, and he gets to the corner, evading a Redmond tackler, and in for the score. Cascade up 2. But now the Panthers looking to get back into this ballgame. They're inside the 10. A 3rd and 7 opportunity. Miner was rolling right, looking for Horner. Here's the 4th down opportunity. Slant on the inside. That pass was caught on the slant route, but 1 yard short. Redmond turns it over on downs. Now Cascade a chance to extend the lead. 20 seconds to go in the half. Redmond can't hold them. Touch given to Bryce Kenzie off the right side. He's the first man to the pylon. Into the second half, Redmond really needs a spark, but instead the offense found more trouble. Loose handoff there, turns it back over, and it got uglier. Cascade crushes Redmond 39-7. Redmond drops to 1-1. Like I said a minute ago, McNary lost to Redmond last week. This week they have another Redmond area school coming to town in Ridgeview. The Ravens opened the season in dominant fashion last week against Woodburn, and they start hot again in this one. The first opening McNary drive disrupted by Ty Stevens. He tips it up perfectly for Ryden Nakamura, who comes home with the interception. And then they rush straight to the line a few plays later and punch it in with the heavy set. Later in the quarter, Ridgeview on the move again, man in motion for the snap. Quarterback Gage Hobbs looks deep for Finn Chambers. What a gorgeous ball. Place only the receiver can get it. He outruns the secondary. Chambers makes a great catch, but this team looks dominant on both sides of the ball. The next McNary drive, Celtics trying to move it downfield. Instead, they get behind the chains. A whole flock of Ravens in the backfield for the sack. After the punt, Ridgeview trying to cap off the half. Bodies and the ball. Well, they're going all to the left on this play. McNary a little slow to get to it, and great blocking paves the way for the score. Weeks 1 and 2 couldn't have gone a whole lot better for the Ravens. They still haven't surrendered a single point. Second straight shutout. They beat McNary 35-0. Looking at the rest of tonight's 5A scores, you see that tough loss on the road for Redmond. Ridgeview up at 2-0. Bend, their first game of the year, they had a tough game against West Albany. Caden Cooper actually had a bomb to Max Duncan on the very first play, but after that, West Albany pulled ahead with the comeback and secured it 22-14. Stay with us. IMC standings, more scores, and top plays are all after the break. Welcome back to High Desert Highlights. Several Intermountain Conference teams got wins this week, shaking things up for our first look at the conference standings this year. 3 2-0 teams so far, Mountain View, Summit, and Ridgeview. And if you look at those OSAA rankings, I think you got to say that Ridgeview, underrated right now. They're certainly going to jump from that 13 ranking after 2 straight shutouts. But then again, those 2 teams at the top, Mountain View and Summit, both looking dominant in their first 2 wins. Or first 2 games. Summit has 2 6A wins, and Mountain View, making the title game last year, that offense doesn't look like it's slowed down a bit. Okay, several other Central Oregon teams were in action tonight, so let's take a look at our outside scores scoreboard. Madras hosting Sweet Home, Lapine hosting South Umpqua, Sisters hosting Burns. All 3 of those local teams, Madras, Lapine, and Sisters, getting just 1 touchdown on the board and outscored by their opponents. After all the action we've seen, it is time for our top plays tonight. And for our first top play, we go to Ridgeview. Quarterback Gage Hobbs looking deep on this ball for Finn Chambers, and the route's great. Right over the middle, splitting the secondary in half. But how about this throw from Hobbs to put this in a place that Chambers can catch it and get into the end zone? I mean, this is a 35-yard throw that could not have been more perfect to the inch. Okay. Now for our second top play. It's over to Summit. There's really a number of plays we could have pulled out of this game. We're going to take this one right before the half. Guthrie pump faking, rolling left, and just chucking it up for Connor Keneally, who out-jumps the defender for this ball, and then, well, dodges a couple more on his way into the red zone. This set up the score that really allowed Summit to pull away and take this thing into the half at 20-0. Finally tonight, we look ahead to next Friday with a matchup that we've already have our eyes on. Summit at Wilsonville. This one's going to be a huge one. The Storm traveling to play the 5A defending champions. The Wildcats also beat Summit early in last season on their way to that title, and then they beat Mountain View in the title game, but this is a new Summit team. They're coming off the heels of 2 big wins, and I think they have a real chance on the road at this one at Wilsonville.